What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome. Sean, it's officially Derby week.
With it, the time. The entries are now. Everyone's been talking for months and months and months and months. We now know the pose positions. We're ready to rock. Let the games begin.
You start to really feel that excitement as you hear Trevor Stone run through the Oaks, and I love how on the draw tonight they just ran through it. They didn't
Yep,
do
yep.
their 15-minute intermission after
No,
going half
exactly.
the
Loved it.
field,
Bing,
and
bing, bing. Yep.
they moved it quickly. They were on time, getting both fields done nice and quick in between races. Really love that they the new format that they have in pulling the draw. So obviously, we're going to give you some live thoughts. This just happened. This is Saturday night. For those of you tuning in on, this is a replay. If you're live, jump in the chat. Let us know.
Yeah, jump in. Let us know what you think.
Hot Rad's already high on his 4.818. That would
Yep.
be a Rodriguez journalism and sovereignty, Sean. So sovereignty.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I'm a little concerned about the draw for sovereignty, but we'll get into that. And I think the first impressions that I got right off the bat is I'm not breaking any news here, but you got a lot of speed drawn on the inside. And I think
Yes.
that is going to set up really nicely. If you do like a closer or you do like a horse from off the pace, the one hole Citizens Bull, a Baffert, that horse is going to the front. Number 2, Neo Equus, he's been on the front end. The 4, Rodriguez, another Baffert with Mike Smith, is going to be on the lead. American Promise, Dwayne Lucas is a horse that's been forwardly placed. Then you get the 2 Japanese horses right next to each other, 6 and 7, and we all know how they've caused some chaos on the front end
Yes,
in their
absolutely.
editions
Yep.
of the Kentucky Derby. And then you got number 8 Journalism, who I think is that first horse right off, going to be able to sit right off. And I would say that this is an excellent draw for Journalism. So
Yes.
I actually did the little homework for us. I'm going to show you some of the first 5 to 10 seconds over the last 5 to 6 derbies. I took a snapshot because I want you to see where that traffic starts to become a problem. Those are my first initial thoughts right off the bat. Is that speed on the inside? Is that what you thought, or did you go another direction?
Who made? No, I thought journalism got the best draw by far. I thought Burnham Square got a fabulous draw at number 9. I think both horses ideal right in the middle. I know Ian was thrilled there. Not ideal for Baffert's 2 horses at all. 1, 2, 4, 5, and Owen Almighty getting the 20 post is disaster for those inner horses, because he's sending Owen Almighty. He's not going back. He's just going up. Even if what's his name? If Easty gets involved there, East Avenue, if he's up front, this is going to be a barbecue. So.
Yeah, we got live report from Churchill Downs.
Tim, if report.
Give us a thumbs up before we take you, just to make sure you can hear us. Okay, he's good. All right, look at this. Trust the Profits live at
this live from Churchill.
Live from Churchill Downs, sitting right here on the rail. And hey, you get 2 for your money. I tried to lose him here on the track, but he followed me.
Trusty. Wow.
I'm actually
Look at this.
adopted son. He requires me to cut this off and shave this. I don't know. But
I told him he needs a haircut and a shave.
Yeah. Why did our viewership just cut in half? I thought having a live report from Churchill would make.
You're having technical difficulties.
Yeah.
I do exist, and I actually can be seen this time on a good quality camera phone.
Exactly. Look at that.
Good seeing you guys
as well, without a fan behind you.
Yeah.
Tim and Trusty, we want to get your thoughts. Tim, you start. What is your initial thoughts after the draw for the Derby?
Well, I was disappointed that Rodriguez didn't get the 2. There were only a couple left when he was there, and I was like, Baffert in the 1 and 2 is going to be the Churchill screw job. But but no. But right off the bat, Dennis and I were joking that we, wouldn't it be something if Baffert's right inside with his speed horses, and Citizen Bull right off the bat gets the rail. Rodriguez is there in the 4. I mean, Neo Equus, who is another one that we talked about the other day when he drew in that he was going to add to the pace. You've got so much pace, and Rodriguez, 4, American Promise, Admire Daytona, and Luxor Cafe right there, both together as well. We don't know what their pace profile is going to be, but we anticipate at least one of them probably being on the lead as well. So, I mean, it shapes up to have monster pace coming inside. I think the person that horse that benefited is journalism. Because if you look at journalism in the 8 right there, he's got nothing but speed inside of him to just pull right over behind all that early speed and just decide where
Yeah.
he wants to be.
Yeah.
How about you, Trusty? What are your initial thoughts?
Kind of similar. The speed is going to be on the inside, and then so once they finally sort themselves out and get everything kind of like figured out, I think between them, then here comes On Almighty to come over and say, "You're not done yet," you know. So I think the speed kind of drew poorly, but I do think the logical forces of the crop drew very good posts. I think it seems like the Derby, it's almost like you have to go deep in a weird way, but it looks simpler on paper after the draw because the horse I personally did not like drew really not great. I don't know how you feel about it, Tim, Sean, and Colin. I don't know how you
Who's
feel
that?
about it. Yeah.
Who?
Yeah, and then when you look, other than the immediate the horses to the inside that drew that are going to want the lead, then you've got two more. You've got East Avenue, who has I think a great post to hit the lead,
Yep.
and he's going to be able to see everybody inside him in the 12. And the one that's going to be interesting is Owen Almighty having to break from the 20
Has
post.
to go. He has to go.
He
Yep.
has to.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
that's going to be interesting with him having to do that. I think Sovereignty and Sandman drawing 17 and 18, obviously, it's good for both of them. We know they're
It's
going to be
perfect. It's perfect.
in the back.
It's perfect. They'll both be two of the last to go in the gate,
Right.
and they can just drop back. The 17 and 18, they won't be in the traffic. They won't be. They can just drop back. And remember, it's 5/8 of a mile to the turn. You can get some. You can get position. They will both fall back. If you're Sandman and Sovereignty's positions, you have to be thrilled with that because you can just fall back. You won't get caught in the mumbo jumbo in the middle, and you can just kind of get your own spot. Exactly. And if you can keep them out of the clear, that's great.
Yeah, and actually, the race that just completed here at Churchill Downs was a 1.25 mile race. So they set the Derby gate up in the gate up in the Derby gate position, and it was interesting to take the perspective down here and to kind of watch them, kind of having an idea. And we were joking as the horse from the rail broke out that here comes Citizen Bull. It was just like.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of interesting. I will add one more. We talked about journalism benefiting with the 8. How about Burnham Square sitting just outside him?
Perfect. Perfect.
I think it's a perfect position, and
Perfect.
Ian looked very happy with the position when they drew it. So
Yep. Absolutely. Perfect.
And I think Cold Battle is another one who's similar to journalism as far as the trip because I think them two will be right next to each other. I do think Cold Battle because he's got the outside post and because I think he might be slightly quicker on a turn of foot, get a jump on journalism. And then it's just a question of to me at least, it's just a question if the other horses are good enough, and that's to be determined, obviously. But and I do think the other horses are good enough to run him down. But I do like the trip that as you said, journalism, Burnham Square, and Cold Battle are going to get in this Derby.
Yeah. And I do think if you're looking at Sandman and Sovereignty, Owen's going. Vargas is going to have to get Cold Battle at least out. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's up close, and so he should. He's a great gate horse. So you got the two closers with the two speed horses right out in front of them. They can just go backwards. So that's perfect for them. Even Chunk of Gold out there in 19, he's a closer. They all three of them can just kind of sit back.
right.
Yeah.
I feel like Owen Almighty's pointless in this race. He's not even supposed to be here. He's way on the outside. I have more of an impact on the Kentucky Derby drinking beer at the rail than Owen Almighty is going to have in this race. He's not going to pass. Sovereignty's quicker than people think. So yeah, he's going to be a closer, but I don't see Owen Almighty going so fast and all of a sudden going to pass all these horses on the left. I think he's here for the owners to take a walk to the paddock, go down and enjoy the experience, and they're probably telling them don't get the horse hurt. In my opinion,
here's some great insight, Colin. Okay. People forget this, and this is very important, okay? Look at who the two horses are here. The Owen Almighty and Flying Mohawk are owned by the same people.
Yeah.
Owen Almighty is in here for one reason, because he's the fastest miler of the group, right? He's setting it up for Flying Mohawk. That's whether you agree with it or not or whatever, that's their owner's thinking. He's going to be the rabbit. They're sending him this race specifically to be the rabbit for Flying Mohawk. Whether he takes to it or not, who knows? But that's their plan.
Yeah, and I don't disagree, Sean. And the one thing that we commented on as we were watching the post draw upstairs under the Twin Spires was that as soon as Cole Battle got to 20 and we saw all the other speed inside, we're like, you know, they've got an easy path to the speed. He's going to have to use up so much early that I think he's done even before, you know, he would normally be. I'm not sure he's up front at the mile with what he's going to have to use to get out from the 20 with all of the speed having the rail.
In a weird way, too, that kind of benefits East Avenue because I think he's the speed that can sustain that.
Right.
And he can also sit off of it if he kind of really has to.
Well,
So
now,
I do think he's going to get another great trip as well. So, yeah, I agree with you there, Tim, on that.
now here's a little bit different perspective, right? When you think of this, if you're I think Javier's on Owen Almighty, correct?
Yep.
Right? Okay. If you're Javier and you got to get out to the front, Chunk of Gold's not going out fast. Sovereignty sure is not going out fast, and Sandman's not going out fast. So the three horses next to you are slow. You know what I'm saying? So they're not going forward. So Owen's going to go by himself. Like if we have 1, 2, 4, 5, 12, I mean, if they all meet, I'm just saying, kind of all trying to get the lead. And Owen's just by himself on the outside with 3 slow horses on him. I'm just saying that could be the ideal. I'm just saying just to get to the front. I'm not saying to win.
Right.
Just to get to the front, he could have the clear path.
Now, I have a question for everybody here, and including in chat if you want to comment, because I do think this is going to be a fascinating question. Which of the horses on the inside that have speed is going to take back?
I think 5.
I don't think they can. I don't think they can.
I don't think they can either. That's the problem.
They have to go. This is going to be a barbecue. I'm bringing chicken. I'm bringing my ribs. I'm bringing everything because that's going to be a barbecue up front.
Yeah.
And by the way, I know the owner said they're going to have Owen Almighty rate. Did you watch that Bluegrass? He can't rate. He has no idea how to rate. He cannot rate.
I will say he rated good in the workout against one other horse, but that was one other horse. That doesn't mean anything.
From the 20, he can't rate. You know, he has to go. You know?
Yeah. Someone's saying the two will sit off. I could see him sitting off because I do think if out of all those horses that could go on the rail, Citizen Bull and Rodriguez are going to probably be the two that really try to go, and that might force him to sit off. So I do like that comment, whoever votes for that.
You know, here's the thing. I mean, with Baffert, do you think he's going to let his horses go out and battle each other? I don't believe he is. He never does. Yeah. He always forces one of them to take back.
Yeah. But we've seen when Rodriguez when Tim's has said this to me many times, we both said this. When Rodriguez doesn't get to the lead, he's not as aggressive as he sits back and he doesn't really close. You know what I'm saying? So you got to let him go.
Yeah, and Citizen Bull, obviously, you look up there at 20-1. I mean, you're the juvenile champion, and as much as everybody thought of him before the last race, you have to wonder if since that race and the way he ran, that if that is the horse that Baffert decides, you know what, I'm letting Rodriguez go. He's probably my best chance, and I'm going to rate Citizen Bull and see if he can do that and see if we can do something and change, change the results a little bit.
Yeah. Sure.
It's definitely possible because we've all seen him before multiple races. I mean, every California race is half his horses, and you know he never lets them run against each other like that. They never all get out on the lead, even when they're all need the lead types.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Sean, who do you think lost the draw? Who do you think kind of ended up in a spot that they're not going to be content with?
Well, obviously, I mean, I'm not saying he's going to win, but Owen Almighty is obviously in the 20s. Is just no chance now. Citizen Bull, not the ideal position at all at the rail, especially with all the speed. He's gonna work himself so much just to get to the lead. I definitely think I don't think Neocos did himself any favor there. And other than that, no one else, I don't think, of the main people are major like the disappointment. I think everyone else is pretty good, you know, but I think Citizen Bull was the big loser, and Owen Almighty in number 20 is just not ideal at all.
Yeah, Grande's a horse. Grande's a horse that maybe is in a tough spot with East Avenue on the outside, the speed on the inside, journalism. He's lightly raced. You wonder if he might be one of those horses that kind of gets squeezed up and suddenly has a really rough trip.
Yeah.
I think too. The horse that obviously we've gone through the horses that really got a bad post position now, and this might be a guessing game for me. Sandman, I know that he doesn't sometimes break really well, and I know 17 on paper seems like a good spot. But if Cold Battle has to kind of get out a little bit, he might have to go out to the right, and then On Almighty's definitely coming inside. So that makes maybe it gets tight around the 17 and 18 spot, and I trust Sovereignty to break better than Sandman for some reason. I don't. I know that's a little bit different, a different thought there, but you know,
I saw somebody post Sandman winning. Can you win from the 17? It's never been done.
Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, right. Exactly. And then you got also Tistastic at 14. Asmussen's got to be thrilled with this setup up front because that helps his horse big
yeah.
time. If he does that, Jason Worth.
Trusty Worth.
Jason Worth. Then that's Billy Ray Cyrus. Exactly. Exactly. But what do you call it? But so it'll be interesting to see what they're
Bad advice on the dirt. You all
but
right?
the so yeah,
Okay.
but it'll be interesting.
Yeah. We got people here now. Promise got the 5-hole. Woo!
I love it. I
Love
love
it.
it. Trusty
Love
fan
it.
club. The trusty fan club's already getting us rowdy. I
Yeah,
thought
love
we were
it.
getting
Love it.
We're getting loaded up for Derby. We're not in the script. This is not in the script. This is. We almost just got kicked out, I guess. We get fans. For God's sake, Umberto took it off his head and gave it to him. That's awesome. That's
Love it.
awesome. I like both the hats, honestly. Oh, this is
Yeah.
great.
all the
Yeah.
profits are coming out. They better call security because the crowd is counting around
Getting
10.
rowdy. Yeah. And
Yeah, but
Bitcoin.
I mean, it's a gorgeous night here at the
Wow, look at that.
track. The weather's
Yeah.
beautiful. It's, you know,
Let me just.
hard
Yeah.
hard fires over there with the darkness, but yes, going to be filling up this week. All the people coming in. It's already been pretty packed tonight.
Yeah.
Very,
But
very good. Well, thanks, Tim, for chiming in. We'll let you get back to it.
yeah, we're gonna head back at it before security comes and kicks us out. We'll have a lot more content obviously coming up before the Derby, and we'll dive into it a little bit more. We need to talk about these odds. Only 3 horses below 10-1. I don't believe that. I don't believe Rodriguez goes at 12-1. He's going to be sub 10. He's going to be the Baffert that takes the money. And there's questions about Burnham Square, whether or not he goes below 10 as well. But I would love to get 12-1 on him. We'll have a lot more to say about that. But have a good night, guys.
Tim, can I actually
Great job, guys.
This is what's going to be beautiful. Let me borrow the camera real quick.
Uh-oh.
Is that at this place come next week, we'll be talking about who won, who lost, who got bad trips, who got great trips, and who cashed tickets and all that stuff. So thank you all for having both of us here.
Absolutely. You guys enjoy it.
Talk to you later,
Take
guys.
care.
Hey, buddy.
There you go. Live from Churchill. How do you like that? Only on
Love it. Love it.
We got boots on the ground.
Yeah.
Um,
I want to just quickly answer Team Bitcoin's thing, right? It's guaranteed to lose ground in the first turn, right? You like him just because we're convinced. No, I'm really not. If he was a front runner, I'd be very concerned. Of course, he's going to lose ground because he's not going to be in the lead. Exactly. So just to say, 18 keeps him out of the fray. If you're a closer, you want to be outside because you want to be out of the fray. That first 8 steps, when they're all coming out and the horses kind of meet each other, Sovereignty will not be meeting that group. He'll just draw back. So will Sandman. They'll both be going back. Now, obviously, they're going to have to pass tired horses, and that's something you can be definitely worried about, Bitcoin. But if you didn't want to be Sovereignty in like the 6-7 hole, because now you're out of the fray. Exactly. Now you're on the outside. You're the second to last, third to last to go into the gate. So your horse is out the gate the whole entire time. Exactly. And you're out in the clear. And if you're those 2 connections, obviously that's better than being in 6-7 with the rest of the field.
Sean, that's a great transition for what I wanted to show, which was here's 2019, the first steps. I've circled where the traffic and trouble has been over the last 5 or 6 years. Okay, so That's right in your 15, 16, 17, 18 here in 2019. 20, oops, sorry, wrong way. 2020 was the COVID year. Look at right in the middle, and you're going to start to see a trend here. The inside horses, outside horses had a pretty clean, at least beginning. 2021, you have these two bunches that always happen. There's that group in the middle that kind of reach out and collide, and then there's that group on the outside. That's what you see in 2021. 2022, same thing. Horses a little bit more towards the middle got grouped up. 2023, look at the same spot. It's always in that 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, where you get a lot of horses that break out and they don't break straight, and they get kind of caught in between each other, right? And they bump.
Yeah.
So the eyes of trouble is what I'm calling it, as you see right here from 2024. And Sovereignty will be one of those ones on the outside. And even in this situation, you know, since they've moved that gate out, the one has actually got some pretty clean breaks. It's probably after this point where that group of horses comes down in on the 1 and the 2, that gives those horses in that position a little bit of trouble. But you can see that trend of where that trouble ends up getting, and that's exactly to the points that you just talked about, which is Sovereignty is going to be clear of that. Sandman might be clear. Sandman to me was actually the winner, because Sandman's the horse that you have to worry about getting out of the gate. He's had a lot of gate trouble, and I've talked about that in my Spotlight series, where you know, last time he obviously didn't have as much trouble. Hopefully they figured that out. But even if he has a little bit of a misstep being out on 17, it's not like being in number 7 where you have a misstep and you've got 4 horses breaking around you.
Right, smashing you. Yeah.
It's going to be like his Southwest when he was never had a chance in that race because of the way that race broke.
Right. Richard, Final Gambit drew the 3, which is not an ideal position at all, considering you have all the horses around you are going to try to be going out as fast as they can. That's not an ideal thing. Now, he comes from out of the clouds, but here, then again, remember how much Final Gambit was way back in the Ruby, and he came with that flying move. But here's what I was talking about. Final Gambit now has 4 speed horses that are going to be around him trying to get out. So he could be kind of caught in a log jam if he's trying to, you know, where a couple of the other closers are on the outside, may not get caught. So
who is the horse you can see steamrolling up the board? Now, I guess it depends on what they mean by that question.
Yeah.
To me, it's asking maybe who's a long shot at a price. Scott, is that what you mean? Because I have one, and there's a horse that I think drew actually pretty well, and it's the outside of that speed. It's the number 5 American Promise. This is a horse I've really been high on. He's been on your top 10 list for a while, Sean, just as long as mine. And within the Trust the Profits, Dwayne Lucas has had this horse running 9 times, and obviously had that huge effort in the Virginia Derby. For the most part, is a horse that's needed to be on the front end, but he's been working great over the track at Churchill. Comes into the race with some nice rest, having not raced since March 15th in that Virginia Derby at Colonial Downs. He's a price 30-1. This is a horse that I want underneath for me. Is there any 30-1s that you're interested in?
Yeah. What are the odds on Publisher?
20-1.
21. I mean, there's an interesting horse right there. Irad could have had a lot of choices, I think, in this race. He doesn't usually ride for Asmussen, right? I know this horse hasn't won a race, but every single time this horse is running better and better when he gets longer and longer. You know, and the fact that Irad chose this horse, you know what I'm saying? He seems to be getting better and better. I'm just saying for a long shot, you know what I'm saying? He could hit the board for sure. You know, and the fact that Irad and his camp chose this horse, you know what I'm saying? This speaks volumes that they see a horse with a really possible bright future ahead. You know, so I think that you can't throw that horse out.
Yeah, my knocks are. I really think the Florida circuit is the best.
Yeah,
the horse is coming out of Florida, and we had some news today we haven't even touched upon, which is losing to Pan Street, who is a horse
that's terrible. Yeah,
I thought he had a real good shot in here, and I'm kind of honed in on those horses coming from Florida. Obviously, Sovereignty, Burnham Square, Neoquist, River Thames is obviously not in the race, but who came back. You know, Madaket Road's a horse that finished 2nd in the Rebel, came back and ran 4th in the Florida Derby. We kind of start looking at that. Then you got Burnham Square, who left Florida and went to the Bluegrass and won that race. To me, the talent has been in Florida. Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at least staking my put my stake in the ground a little bit on some of these horses when you have to start making those decisions.
I will also say this, and I think this speaks volumes too. Billy Mott was brilliant with Sovereignty, and I'm not saying it because I like him. I love Burnham Road too. That I'm not just on Sovereignty, but I'm saying that was a brilliant move by Billy Mott. Sovereignty did not like the Gulfstream track, but still won and came in second in another race. But it gave him 5 weeks, 5 full weeks before the Derby. Remember the Bluegrasses, I painfully know, was rained out. So those horses have 3.5 weeks, right? So they missed almost like a half week too. You know what I'm saying? So they've only had 3.5 weeks to get back into where the Santa Anita Derby 4 weeks. But Sovereignty has had a full 5 weeks to get ready for this race. You know what I'm saying? So he has that extra week. That's got to be a big major factor coming into this race. Whether it means he's going to run, that still is not, but I'm saying, but Bill did a brilliant move there, keeping him in Florida because he wanted to guarantee the full 5 weeks and kept him in Florida. Didn't bring him up to Kentucky until a week ago. So, you know, but he's won on this track, which again is huge. You know, it's like if I had one person that I love Sandman. The only race Sandman and Sovereignty have run together at Churchill Downs, and they were 2-year-olds, but he won by 8.5 lengths over Sandman. So, I mean, so just the only comparison you have in those two is that Sovereignty really beat him by 8.5 lengths at Churchill. Now they're 3-year-olds, not 2-year-olds. They can develop differently, but I'm just saying that's a big factor.
Absolutely. Revolutionary. When's the last time the one hit the board? It hasn't
Ferdinand.
happened. Well, that's the last winner.
Yeah, exactly. Probably, maybe. Seriously.
The last time in the money was looking at Lee, second, 2017. And the last top 5 was Hit Show, who finished 5th in 2023. So there you go. Sean, we're also just one scratch away from getting Baeza in.
Yes.
The son of Puka, who has had 2 Kentucky Derby starters the last 2 years. Just an unbelievable story, I would say, if we get a third Puka baby in the Derby. So, and Baeza, I think, has a absolute big shot if he draws in here.
Yes.
And generally, right, over the course of Derby week, you're probably gonna have another scratch or two. At least that's been the history. Obviously, we don't want that to happen.
No, and then you have Neocles would need a new rider because Flavian would be on Baeza, not on Neocles. So that would be another rider carousel that would probably be like Zayas or somebody, or somebody. But that would make it an even more interesting race because Flavian. But Baeza, if he draws in, remember, gets 20. So that's not really ideal for him as a young horse with only so many races. That's not ideal for him. So all the Baeza people who are praying he gets into the race, yeah, if he was in 5-6, I love him. But 20, I'm not really thrilled with a young horse out in 20 land. You know, I mean, trying to upset a field. That's not my ideal thing. You know.
Yeah, that would be very difficult. The superfecta will pay over 100,000.
Yeah, it could this year. I mean, good Lord. I mean, this year, it because there's so many unknown factors, you know. And again, as I can't state it enough, what are the 2 Japanese horses going to do? Nobody knows what their form is. You know what I'm saying? Like what we've seen in the past. Japanese horses are not afraid to go to the lead and burn people up. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, so what if one of those goes to the lead and then you got 7 horses on the lead? I mean, it could be a barbecue. I mean, you have no idea. You know, it's just so funny, you know?
Yeah, and I think if you get past journalism and
he should be the favorite. Absolutely.
Oh, he's absolutely the favorite. He's probably, if I said, who's the horse most likely to, if there's going to be a Triple Crown winner, who's it going to be? You're going to say journalism, I would assume.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I absolutely. Yep.
But once you get past that, if you believe in journalism, I can't fault you. Has absolutely shown the talent. I think the last race he showed the ability to get past some trouble and really had a more difficult race than you could have with a 5 or 6 horse field. But once you get past journalism, it opens up to about 16 horses, in my opinion, that you could make a logical case for. And I think that right to the point of Team Bitcoin is that's how you get $100,000 super.
Sure.
You you get so many different opinions. I mean, look at the morning lines. I think maybe they just decided to give everyone 20 and 30 to 1 like it was candy. But
and remember too, in all honesty, right? If you're honestly thinking of journalism as a single, right? He passed Barnes, who isn't even in this race. He only faced 5 horses. Now he's facing 20. I'm just saying he's got some questions too. Do I think he's talented? Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Mike McCarthy's an amazing trainer. He was under Pletcher. He knows how to get it done. I don't think the horse will be more. Did you see him? He looked like a dressage horse the other day going around the track. He's so polished. But I'm just saying, but he's only faced 5 horses. He's going to 20. I'm just saying there's some questions for him too. Like, what did he beat, out there in California? Because all they were doing is run against themselves. So, so it'll be interesting. There are questions even for him, but he definitely deserves to be the favorite. No question about it.
3 maidens have won the Derby. Gatekeeper, you have to go back to 1884, 1919, and 1933. So back when records were quite a while ago. Most recently, in 2019, Bodie Express finished 13th. 2016, Trojan Nation finished 16th. So they haven't had a whole ton of success in the Kentucky Derby. It's a big ask. It's a big ask to come into a race like this.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. And by the way, when I was saying publisher, I was not saying to win. I don't think he's going to win, but I'm just saying possibly if it really burns up front and he gets a good trip, could definitely get in the Super.
Yep, and that's all you need. Find a couple horses underneath. And Sean, you've been on Sovereignty all along. Your boy Junior and Belmont. Any change based on the post position, or Sovereignty still your Derby horse?
No, he loves Churchill Downs. I may be wrong. Do I think he's a lock? No, not at all. But I'm saying Junior said, and I give him credit, he said, I will not change places with any horse right now. The horses won the stakes race on Churchill Downs, which a lot of horses in this field have not. You know what I'm saying? So I go with the horses that have run on Churchill Downs, and I think he got the 18, which means he'll stay mostly out of the trouble. He's going to have to save ground. He can't lose too much ground, but with this torrid pace and this horse's amazing closing ability, right, he's not out of it at all. But he's going to have to pass tired horses. And if you like Sovereignty, you got to bet him with the thought that he's going to have to pass some tired horses. You know what I'm saying? Which could mean trouble. If you got to have a clear path. And you know what I'm saying? So that is a definite question mark in his side for sure.
Right now, he's still my horse as well. I do like American Promise, so kind of building my tickets around those two, along with maybe a little Luxor Cafe. And I don't think you can toss out Journalism. Those are kind of where I'm starting my bets, at least here on Saturday, and we'll dive through. We have plenty more videos and reaction coming at you all week, so please stay tuned. We'll take a real quick look at the Kentucky Oaks post positions. 14 horses, obviously good sheer. You're undefeated, Philly. In the 11 hole goes off as your favorite at 6-5. Quiet Side on the outside, I think might have got a little bit of a tricky draw there.
Did they make
84-1? Did
they make her 84-1?
I think that's a mistake. She is 8-1.
Because if I get 84-1 on Quiet Side, even though she's in the 14, I'm putting 20 across her.
I have a couple futures Oaks Derbies. I have Fondly, Ballerina Doro. I think I have 10 man. I have Quiet Side as well going into Sovereignty. So hopefully one of those 4 fillies can pull it off for me. Good Cheer looks like a pretty tough task to beat here.
Yeah. You want my upset?
Is it
Take Charge, Milady? 12-1, Kenny McPeak. She should have won the Ashland at Keeneland. Yeah. She was blocked. She was still getting to Lacara. Brian said if I just don't get her in trouble, he actually told me he would have won that race. I think there's going to be a lively pace up front. I don't know if she'll win, but I think she'll be right there.
Yeah, she was my pick in the Ashland. I don't know if you watched the draw, though. They interviewed Kenny McPeak, and he said that they're keeping an eye on a small quarter crack, I think, on Take Charge Milady.
Yes, so they are.
That immediately kind of gives you a little bit of concern going into a race like this when you have.
And I think he'll scratch her if he doesn't think she's good enough. Exactly. Now, by the way, just a little factor here that people got to remember for all the Sandman fans. Okay. He is owned by the kid who's on TikTok, who has 33 million followers. All his thing is on Sandman right now. There are all these people out there that have never bet in their lives who are going to be betting Sandman. So you better believe that the second favorite, maybe even the favorite behind journalism, will be Sandman, because he's got 33 million followers, and they're all betting Sandman for him. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to be quite the story this week when he's there. He was there at the draw today. They were interviewing him. So 33 million followers, and he's got Sandman all over his thing. So this is going to be quite interesting. I think he's your second favorite, if not possibly favorite, because there's so many people on that TikTok that are going to be betting Sandman.
And all your Metallica fans as well. Metallica was there visiting Sandman recently. So
yeah.
All the Owen fans will they still be betting Owen Almighty?
No, they will not. No, they will not. And I hope they do. I hope they all bet them and pound them. Exactly.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to see the money and where the odds end up. We'll be live next Saturday, right, for some Kentucky coverage. Sean, you missed the lounge this week, and Tim and Formula went off and hit a nice $500.
Yeah, I retired. They don't need me anymore, so I'm done. That was a wonderful hit. I was so excited for them. But I will be back this week for sure.
Somebody was asking. I think it was Trish was asking if you guys would be live on Thursday. So
yes, we will, Trish, and I'm sure there will be another update or two on one of these Derby horses for sure. The complexion of the race may change even more by the time we're on Thursday. Exactly. Even for the Oaks too, if there's a couple of deletions or scratches, interesting.
All right, we'll have to go check in, make sure. I thought security was coming to arrest Trusty and Tim, so hopefully we'll do it. We'll do a wellness check in the next.
Yeah, exactly. Yes,
that they're good. Thank you everybody for tuning in as we break down the post position draw for the 2025 Kentucky Derby. I can't believe it's already here.
It's exciting.
Stay here all week. We'll have videos every single day for you, both betting strategies, series, contenders. I got one coming up on American Promise. We still have Sovereignty to do, Sean. I think you should take that one.
Yeah.
And everything else coming your way. So till next time, I'm Colin. He's Spin Nation. Good luck, everybody.